Act, and as it stands until we are advised otherwise. So let us be patient still and wait and hear what the CS advises. So the Ministry of Education is mandated to ensure inculcation of sound morals and religious values to learners in line with goal number 4 of the National Goals of Education. Article 10 of the Constitution of Kenya provides for the need to instill national values to all citizens. In this case, our interest is in the learners, because these are the young citizens that we have and that we love, that they carry the nation forward for posterity, for future. In 2016, there was a national outcry following increase in discipline in schools, and I'm sure some of you know that, and moral decadence in the society characterized by the instances of burning and destruction of school property. We had youth radicalization, alcohol and substance abuse, among other forms of misconduct. So to address these, the National Assembly, by a resolution made on 13 October 2016, passed a motion urging the national government to consider deploying chaplains to all secondary schools and teacher training colleges. This was to supplement the work of guidance and counseling departments in instilling desired morals, social values, national values, and a sense of responsibility, as well as addressing and rooting out moral decay at an early age. At this point, where we are talking of the secondary schools, we have been thinking with other chaplains that we also include the primary school teachers, chaplains. Like in this context, do we have anyone from the primary school? The chaplains from primary schools? I know I have Clement. Yes, as a coordinator of the course, I have him and him. And yes, my sister is there behind, and we cannot miss others. We had a short course training of chaplains before schools opened, a 1-week short course. And we were looking at some of the what were they, Chairman? Some of the topics or areas that can be addressed in the curriculum of chaplains. And we realized that some of our learners are coming from malfunctional homes. Some children are coming from, from somewhere because the parents maybe are not even living together. And if some are living together, they are also not happy homes. Children have got so much stress and so many things are going through their lives. These children could even be in the preschool and primary schools. So we were saying that if we wait for them to come to the secondary schools, for them to receive services on chaplaincy, maybe we will be losing some of our children who could have been saved and rescued from danger at an earlier age. So we are, I am requesting and I'm calling upon the chairman and the secretary to reach out to other chaplains who are in other levels. When we went to the northeastern region, there were ladies, lady Muslim, who have given themselves to going around, we were in Garissa, to going around and taking care of those children that are just so stressed. And they gave us an experience that they have found even learners who have had no food, nothing, and they are just walking around. And although the time we went to the northeastern was during the holy month of Ramadan, but some children were like, they don't know with what to open when when the hour, what do you call that hour, director, when they were opening, is Easter. Yeah, when that hour comes, some children were wandering. And so those two lady Muslims in the chaplains that came for the Northeastern Forum, they told us that they were going around helping. And because during that month, the Muslim faithfuls give a lot of whatever they have, they share with each other. So they would identify children who do not have food, and they would take them to a place where they know they will have something during that time. Chaplains, I want to put this challenge across to you also. There are some of our learners, like those of us who are in Nairobi, I don't know whether, I am sure even here in Mombasa, when you walk around the streets of Nairobi, you find so many young girls and boys on the streets who are children of school age going. And you wonder, why are these children on the streets? Schools have opened. But around the Uchumi area director, there are usually so many small boys and girls running after people, and you hear somebody tapping you. Kiangalia is a small kid, give me money to take tea, give me something, buy me lunch. Some of these work of, what can it be called? Because it is in the Ministry of Labor, of child protection, I think is also a responsibility of chaplains. Child protection, and ensure that you know why these children are not in school, they have not completed school. We cannot say that they are job seeking, but they are just out there. So, chaplains, kindly let us not wait until they come to the secondary schools. Let us save our children as early as possible. So to operationalize this motion, the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the representatives from religious umbrella bodies, namely the NCCK, the EAK, KCCB, Seventh-day Adventists, National Association of Christian Chaplains, the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, and the Hindu Council developed guidelines on chaplaincy services in basic education institutions. It is envisioned that chaplaincy services in basic education learning institutions will assist in the promotion of spiritual and moral values of learners and enhance discipline. If director said here that if somebody has very high qualifications and they are in alliance, and the chaplain of alliance is here, isn't it, Mr. Mwangi? If these learners have scored those A's and they are going to the universities to do medicine, engineering, and they have no morals, these are the people that will perform very poorly when they are exposed to the job market. They will not respect job, they will not respect work, they will not respect their seniors, and they will just be very harmful people in the society. So we want people that have very high performances in school and also very high performances in terms of morals. So how is the process of development of the guidelines? So the process happened like this. That is number 2. The FBOs, that is faith-based organizations, and the Ministry of Education officials embarked on the process of developing chaplaincy documents for the basic learning institutions. It's important that you know, you understand that Reverend Gatu, when they were called upon by the former CS Matiang'i, they did a guideline. They did a guideline that was inclusive of so many things. But now when we found that it could not work at that time, the PS allowed the MOE officials, led by Director Duale, to thin out the booklet into and do bit by bit of what the former committee had done. So the first bit is developing guidelines. Guidelines are like the syllabus in the school setup. They will help you to customize your work and plan your work using the guidelines. These guidelines apply to the Hindu, they apply to the Muslims, they apply to the Catholics, they apply to everybody, for as long as they are in the learning institutions. At first, this document was even referred to as a policy, other times as a scheme of service for chaplains. And the document had even proposed the formation of a parastatal with a Director General for chaplaincy. But looking at the government policy on creation of new parastatals, it was found that the proposal was not tenable. This was the direction taken from 2016 to 2020. So in 2021, the Directorate of Field Coordination and Co-curricular Activities became serious with the issue on the production of a document to guide the chaplains in Kenya. The committee made up of FBOs and MOE officials then conducted a survey to understand how chaplaincy services were conducted throughout the country. Among other findings, the survey found out that the chaplains were not adequately equipped for the critical role they are expected to play in supporting the spiritual growth of learners, inculcating values and equipping them with life skills. The survey found out that many of the serving chaplains had not taken a course in chaplaincy, but utilized the general knowledge they had acquired in theology, training, or the education courses. At this point, where we are talking of equipping chaplains, we are requesting that, or we are suggesting that chaplains get the relevant knowledge on chaplaincy. There are some institutions in this country that are very serious on chaplaincy. We found out that St. Paul's University, the Kabarak University, the Park University now are taking it very seriously, the chaplaincy course. Why? To equip you, get the relevant skills to be able to handle learners. Those of us that started with the B.Ed in education, you know we have the teaching methodologies, you learn the teaching methodologies of how to handle a learner, how to handle a lesson, how to go the stages. The same case applies to the chaplains. If you do not know, if you do not understand why the child is behaving in the manner they are behaving, you may mishandle the learner. So we are suggesting that chaplains go through some trainings. It could be school-based program or whatever kind, and not only the chaplains that are teaching, but also even these other chaplains who are sponsored by their various religions. Kindly go through the chaplaincy courses. One of the topics we learned with the other chaplains that came on board was the topic on family. Everything begins on the family. If the family is not stable, whether it is a single family or a family headed by a father and with a mother, and because we have dynamism in the family today, isn't it? Yes. If that family, whatever is called family by a child, if that family is not firm, then the children will have a lot of stresses and distresses in their lives. So let us, chaplains, equip yourselves for the job. So, in addition, the chaplain did not have unified guidelines or job description, and some were even doubling up as teachers and chaplains. So the survey also found out that their work was ad hoc and was determined by the prevailing needs. Meaning, a chaplain did not know what your role was. The document that we have developed, those of you who have gone through it, I'm sure we did not have all of you in the forums. Why? because in the forums of validation, would consider, would pick from the big schools, including up to the smallest school. So would pick, like in Central, where we have the alliances and everybody, would not pick only the alliances, because we also needed those day schools and everybody to be on board, because we are taking care of all learners, whether in the national schools until in the sub-county schools. So, chaplains did not have, according to the survey that we conducted in 2021, the chaplains did not know what they go to school to do. Some of them did not even know that they are supposed to be responsible of those learners. Do you know you are responsible of the learners? Yes. In the chapter 3 of that document, it is talking about the roles and the responsibilities of a chaplain. What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to support the school administration? How are you supposed to support a learner? The principal may be hard on a learner, but what is your part?